Look at Wayne Pearson go, they're really giving it some jandle now. The first flyer is always a bit of a reconnaissance mission, a mix of caution and raw pace.
You bet, Rob. They're mapping out the track, feeling out the grip levels, and getting a sense of how the car is performing today. It's a crucial lap for building confidence.
Eddie G is on the outlap, not just warming up the tires but also warming up their instincts, getting that racer's intuition dialed in.
True that. They're getting the feel of the track, the car, the conditions. It's all about setting the stage for what's to come.
Nathan Vexler is on their first practice flying lap. Sunoiler posted a 1:21.368 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Wayne Pearson has a best lap time of 1:21.945. Mate, sometimes I reckon the pit wall looks like they're controlling a spaceship with all those dials and knobs.
You're not wrong. Each of those adjustments, from brake bias to differential settings, has a profound effect on car behavior. It's like tuning a guitar, but instead of strings, you're tweaking mechanical symphonies to get the car singing just right on the track.
Now, here's a term some might not be familiar with: roll bar stiffness. Sounds technical, doesn't it?
It does, but in essence, it's about how the car reacts to lateral forces, especially during cornering. Adjusting the roll bar can change how the car behaves mid-corner. A softer setting can be more forgiving, but a stiffer one might give the driver a quicker response, albeit with less margin for error.
Sunoiler crosses the line with their first flyer, clocking a 1:22.340. They're getting to grips with Vallelunga Classic, feeling out its quirks and corners.
It's like the first round of a chess match, Rob. They're making their opening moves, setting up for the later, faster laps where they'll really show their hand.
There's no mucking around for Puppy Dog from Hella Euro, straight down to business on this first flyer. They'll be keen to see what times they can clock in early on.
Yeah, and it's not just about speed. It's about rhythm, finding that flow around Vallelunga Classic. Getting into that groove early can set the pace for the whole session.
With just 478 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. And there's Megasaurus 55, easing out onto Vallelunga Classic. It's like the first step on a long hike, finding your footing before you hit full stride.
Right, and every racer knows this out lap is precious. It's their first handshake with the track today, feeling out its mood and temperament.
Alright, Sunoiler has put down a 1:22.383. It's a decent benchmark, but I reckon there's more juice to squeeze out of that Alfa Romeo 155 Ti V6 Enduro.
For sure, Rob, it's early days. They're just starting to sync up with the track. We'll likely see those times tumble as they dial in.
Puppy Dog from Hell's first flyer is a solid start, clocking in at 1:21.475. They're getting a feel for the track, but there's room to shave off a few more seconds.
Absolutely, Rob. It's all about finding those little tweaks, adjusting the line here, braking a tad later there. Every lap is a learning curve.
Joe Ergues on the outlap, getting a taste of the tarmac. It's like sniffing the cork before a good wine, first impressions matter.
Exactly. They're assessing the grip, the balance, the whole shebang. You can learn a lot in these quiet moments before the throttle really opens up.
So, for those tuning in and wondering what's the go with these practice sessions, well, it ain't just about flexing their engines. It's about synergy, mate. Getting the driver, the car, and the track to sing in harmony.
Couldn't have put it better. We liken it to rehearsing a dance. Every step, every turn must be practiced until it's second nature on the big stage.
It's all about finding that sweet spot during these sessions. Like tuning a didgeridoo, but way faster.
Haha, and a lot noisier. But you're right. In Indy, we fine-tune until it feels just right. Every lap here is a step towards perfection.
Sunoiler has a best lap time of 1:21.368. Megasaurus 55 posted 1:23.793 on their last lap, How will they do on this one? Eddie G's first serious lap is in the books with a time of 1:24.563. Good effort, but I'm expecting them to really push the envelope in the next few laps.
Yeah, it's about building that momentum, Rob. Fine-tuning their approach with each turn, each lap, getting more out of the car and themselves.
Look at Joe Ergu taking it nice and easy, a smart move. Like a chess player contemplating the opening move, they're planning several steps ahead.
Spot on. They're mentally mapping each corner, each straight. It's not just about the car, it's about strategy and foresight.
Richard Rossia is really opening up the taps now, their first flyer of the session. This is where we start to see what Alfa Romeo 155 Ti V6 Enduro has got under the hood.
That's right, Rob. They're shaking off the cobwebs and really starting to push. It's all about finding that sweet spot between speed and control on the circuit.
Megasaurus 55 has a best lap time of 1:23.089. You know, mate, watching these practice sessions, you'd think the driver just jumps in and goes. But there's a heck of a lot more to it. Starting with that aero package, the balance between drag and downforce.
Oh, for sure, you tweak the front wing just a smidge, and you could have a totally different beast on your hands. Depending on the track, they might want more downforce for those tight corners or reduce it for the long straights to maximize speed.
Hey Hal, you reckon these drivers ever get tired of going round and round during practice?
Well, Rob, repetition is the key. Every lap gives you data, insights, and an edge over the competition.
With just 469 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. There's the first flying lap for Richard Rossia, hitting 1:20.660. It's a start, but they'll be looking to iron out those kinks as they get more laps under their belt.
Right on, Rob. It's early in the session, so there's plenty of time to experiment and find those extra tenths of a second.
Alright, Eddie G has put down a 1:22.891. It's a decent benchmark, but I reckon there's more juice to squeeze out of that BMW M3 E30 GR, A92 Enduro.
For sure, Rob, it's early days. They're just starting to sync up with the track. We'll likely see those times tumble as they dial in.
Mitchell Litwinski is rolling out for the first sniff of the track. It's all about feeling the car, the tarmac, and getting the mind in the zone.
Absolutely, Rob. The out lap is like the opening chapter of the book. It sets the tone for the whole story. They'll be checking how the car's responding, getting a real feel for the conditions today at Vallelunga Classic.
Wayne Pearson has a best lap time of 1:21.779. There goes Andreas Dittmann on their first dance with Vallelunga Classic. Every bend, every straight is a chance to learn, to adapt.
Yeah, and it's about syncing with the car too, making sure everything's in harmony. It's like tuning an instrument before a big concert.
Nathan Vexler posted a 1:21.058 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Oi, these practices aren't just a walkabout in the park. It's here that races are often won or lost.
Absolutely. Back home in North Carolina, we emphasize the setup. A few tweaks during practice can lead to major gains on race day.
And off goes Jack M10, easing into the rhythm of Vallelunga Classic. This lap is like the first sip of your morning coffee, waking up the senses, priming the engines.
Yeah, it's about syncing up with the machine, getting that perfect harmony between driver and car. It's like a prelude to a symphony that's about to unfold on the track.
Wayne Pearson's first serious lap is in the books with a time of 1:23.614. Good effort, but I'm expecting them to really push the envelope in the next few laps.
Yeah, it's about building that momentum, Rob. Fine-tuning their approach with each turn, each lap, getting more out of the car and themselves.
Watch as Jack M team takes it nice and easy on this outlap. It's not just about warming up the tires, it's about getting into that mental pit lane, tuning into the race mindset.
For sure, Rob, they're calibrating everything, the brakes, the steering, the throttle response. It's a crucial part of laying down the groundwork for a successful practice session.
Mitchell Litwinski is not hanging about, straight into the thick of it on this first flying lap. They're getting a real taste of the Ford Mustang 5.0 GT DTM 91 Enduro's capabilities.
Absolutely. It's about understanding the limits early on. You'll see them experimenting with braking points and turn-in speeds, all while keeping an eye on those tire temps.
There's Andreas Dittmann, gently nudging the beast as they head out. The out lap is where you whisper to the car, "Let's dance," before the real party starts.
You got that right. It's a gentle waltz before the full-on rock concert of the race. They're testing the waters, getting a feel for every bend and straight of Vallelunga Classic.
Richard Rossier crosses the line with their first flyer, clocking a 3:56.525. They're getting to grips with Vallelunga Classic, feeling out its quirks and corners.
It's like the first round of a chess match, Rob. They're making their opening moves, setting up for the later, faster laps where they'll really show their hand.
Megasaurus 55 posted 1:23.089 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? There's the first flying lap for Eddie G, hitting 4:35.918. It's a start, but they'll be looking to iron out those kinks as they get more laps under their belt.
Right on, Rob. It's early in the session, so there's plenty of time to experiment and find those extra tenths of a second.
It's a bit like looking for water in the outback. These drivers are searching for that sweet rhythm, where everything just clicks.
Spot on. It's that elusive flow state. When everything syncs up, the car, the track, the driver, that's when magic happens.
Here we go, folks. The atmosphere is electric as the drivers prepare to unleash their machines on the track at Vallelunga Classic for the qualifying session. Mitchell Litwinski is on their out lap.
This is the moment they've been preparing for. Let's see if they can execute.
Mitchell Litwinski has positioned themselves well in third during qualifying. The challenge now is to assess their competitors and strategize how to move up the order for a better race start. Incredible performance by Richard Rossier so far. They have been the benchmark in this qualification session, consistently setting fast lap times and securing the top spot. It's a commanding position for them, and their rivals will be chasing their tail. Richard Rossier has completed their out lap. Richard Rossia has completed their outlap. A solid qualifying performance by Mitchell Litwinski, positioning them in 8th at the moment. The question now is whether they can make further progress and challenge the frontrunners. Mitchell Litwinski has completed their outlap. And there goes Eddie G, currently in position 4. They've shown great skill and consistency so far, but with a few minutes left, there's still time to improve their result. Eddie G has completed their first flying lap in 1:21.933. There are just over 10 minutes left in this qualification session. Sunoiler has just completed that lap in 1:20.165. Their best lap so far is 1:20.165, putting them in P1. Will they be able to hold on to that spot? There are just over 10 minutes left in this qualification session. Richard Rossia has just completed a lap in 1:19.850. Let's see if they can improve on the time further. Incredible drive by Sunoiler so far, earning him second on the grid. However, the competition is fierce. Will they be able to find that extra edge to move up?
You hit the nail on the head, Rob. Sunoiler's current position of second is a testament to their skill and determination. Now, they must stay sharp to make the most of this opportunity.
With Sunoiler now sitting pretty in second, they have got to be feeling good.
True, but in the world of racing, good isn't always good enough. They've got to keep their eye on the prize and aim for perfection on every turn.
A strong showing from Joe Ergu as they currently sit in 7th. With the session drawing to a close, they'll need to dig deep and find that extra burst of speed to improve.
Spot on analysis, Rob. Jorg Yu has positioned themselves well in 7th. It's now crucial for them to maintain their focus and defend their position in the upcoming race.
What a fantastic showing from Richard Rossia in qualifying. They currently hold the top spot and are in prime position for a strong starting position. Their lap times have been exceptional, and they have showcased their talent and determination.
Absolutely, Rob. Richard Rosier is making their presence known with their outstanding performance. Their competitors will need to dig deep and find something special to challenge their supremacy.
What a performance from Joe Ergu. They currently occupy 7th on the grid. Can they maintain this strong position and secure a favorable starting spot?
You're spot on, Rob. Jorg Yu's current position of 7th is a testament to their skills and determination. Now, they face the challenge of maintaining their position against hungry rivals.
Currently in 6th, Jack M Team has displayed promising speed during its stellar performance from Jack M Team, clinching 5th.
They're in a great spot, Rob, but in qualifying, complacency can be your worst enemy. They need to keep pushing the limits while staying cool under pressure. It may be difficult for them to improve further on that. Sometimes trying too hard makes you slower. They need to drive smooth and smart.
Impressive display by Andreas Dittmann, currently sitting in position. It seems like Andreas Dittmann's struggling to find the sweet spot with their Ford Mustang 5.0 GT DTM 91 Enduro. Sitting in 10th with a time of 1:26.693, they might want to consider adjusting the suspension setup for better handling.
Yeah, tuning the suspension could improve cornering stability, Rob. It's all about finding that balance between agility and stability on a technical track like this.
Impressive work from Jack M team, who has claimed 5th on the grid. Now, the focus is on maintaining their composure and pushing for an even better starting position.
Absolutely, Rob. Jack M team has put in a remarkable effort to secure 5th. The competition is fierce, and they'll need to stay focused to defend their position.
It's an impressive showing by Andreas Dittmann, currently in 10th. They've showcased their talent, but will they be able to find those crucial extra tenths of a second to climb higher? There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. Andreas Dittmann's got their work cut out for them in 10th. Perhaps adjusting the gear ratios for better acceleration could help knock off a few tenths.
You're on the money, Rob. On a track with this many tight turns, quicker acceleration out of the corners could be key to a faster lap time.
There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification. Martin Wexler will be happy having put themselves into 3rd in this qualifying session. There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. With Jack M team clocking a 1:21.651, they've got themselves a mountain to climb, stuck in 6th.
They're not out of the fight yet, Rob, but it's going to take some serious wheel work to make up that gap. The clock's ticking, and they need to make every lap count from here on out.
Megasaurus 55 has put in a great effort. I'm thinking Megasaurus 55 could benefit from tweaking their tyre strategy. That last lap at 1:23.598 isn't cutting it for 8th. A switch to a softer compound might give them the edge they need.
Spot on, Rob. A softer tire could provide that extra grip, but they'll have to manage tire wear carefully. It's a risky play, but it might just pay off.
A solid performance from Eddie G as they currently hold position 5. However, with the session coming to a close, they'll need to find that extra bit of speed if they want. Looks like Eddie G is making a statement, securing a spot in 4th.
Yep, Rob, but there's always room for improvement. Smooth, consistent laps might just be the key to climbing even higher before this session wraps up. Every fraction of a second counts. I am sure they can find a little extra in there.
Not the ideal start for Martin Tuib in this qualifying session. Currently in 11th position, there's a real buzz in the air as Richard Rossier secures 1st.
Right you are, Rob. They've put themselves in a solid spot, but they can't let up now. Staying smooth and focused is key to shaving off those extra fractions. It may be difficult for them to improve further on that. Sometimes trying too hard makes you slower. They need to drive smooth and smart.
It's a masterclass from Richard Rossier in this qualification session. That Joe Erbu might need to rethink their setup. That 1:22.422 isn't doing them any favors in 7th. Maybe tweaking the downforce for better grip could shave off a few precious seconds.
I agree, Rob. A bit more downforce on those corners at Vallelunga Classic could make a world of difference. But they'll have to be careful not to sacrifice too much top speed on the straights.
And there goes Joe Erbu, currently in position 7. Puppy Dog from Hell has completed their outlap. A solid qualifying performance by Puppy Dog from Hell, positioning them in 6th at the moment. The question now is whether they can make further progress and challenge the frontrunners.
I completely agree, Rob. Puppy Dog from Hell has positioned themselves impressively in 6th. However, it's crucial for them to keep pushing to potentially improve their starting position.
Incredible drive by Megasaurus 55 so far, earning him 9th on the grid. However, the competition is fierce. Will they be able to find that extra edge to move up?
You hit the nail on the head, Rob. Megasaurus 55's current position of 9th is a testament to their skill and determination. Now, they must stay sharp to make the most of this opportunity.
It's about time Megasaurus 55 considered a different approach. With a 1:23.168, they're stuck in 9th. Maybe a change in brake bias could give them more control in those hard braking zones.
That's a solid point, Rob. Better braking control means they can brake later and harder, making up precious time in the corners.
Currently in 10th, Martin Tuip has displayed promising speed during the qualifying session. The real test lies in whether they can convert this performance into a higher grid position.
Great analysis, Rob. Martin Tuip has shown excellent pace to secure 10th. Now, the focus shifts to whether they can use their track position to their advantage in the race.
It's been a challenging session for Andreas Dittmann. They're currently languishing in 12th position, which is not where they had envisioned themselves. But in motorsport, anything can happen, and with their skill and determination, they might still turn things around.
You're spot on, Rob. Andreas Dittmann has had a tough time in this qualifying session, but they shouldn't be counted out just yet. With their experience and the support of their team, they might find the extra speed needed to move up the grid.
It's an impressive showing by Richard Rossier in qualifying. They have set the bar high, leading the way with their exceptional performance. It's a fantastic position to be in, and they will be looking to convert it into a strong race result.
You're spot on, Rob. Richard Rossier is showcasing exceptional skill and consistency in this qualifying session. It's a formidable position they hold, and their rivals will need to step up their game to challenge them.
Megasaurus 55 has secured a respectable 9th in the qualifying session. Can they capitalize on this position and use it as a launching pad for a stronger race performance?
You're absolutely right, Rob. Megasaurus 55's current position of 9th reflects their strong qualifying performance. Now, they'll need to strategize and capitalize on this starting position.
Disappointing performance from Mitchell Litwinski in this qualifying session. Currently in 11th position, they'll need to dig deep and find some extra speed to climb up the leaderboard and secure a better starting position for the race. Megasaurus 55 has positioned themselves well in 9th during qualifying. The challenge now is to assess their competitors and strategize how to move up the order for a better race start.
Absolutely, Rob. Megasaurus 55 has put in a remarkable effort to secure 9th. The competition is fierce, and they'll need to stay focused to defend their position.
Megasaurus 55's latest lap at 1:22.900 isn't cutting the mustard. They're sitting in 9th, which means there's a fair bit of ground to make up.
Yeah, Rob, it's a decent time, but in this game, decent won't get you to the podium. They'll need to dig deeper and find some extra pace.
Impressive display by Martin Tuip, currently sitting in position 10. They've set a competitive time, but the question remains whether they can push even harder to secure a better starting position. What a performance from Nathan Vexler. They currently occupy 3rd on the grid. Can they maintain this strong position and secure a favorable starting spot?
I couldn't agree more, Rob. Nathan Vexler has done a fantastic job to claim 3rd. The challenge now is to convert this opportunity into a strong race result.
Impressive work from Nathan Vexler, who has claimed 3rd on the grid. Now, the focus is on maintaining their composure and pushing for an even better starting position. You've joined us on a breezy day here at Vallelunga Classic, as we're getting ready to kick things off. Starting from pole position is the perfect place for Richard Rossia to launch an attack.
But it's also a nightmare if they can't hold on to it. Let's see how they will handle the pressure.
On the second grid slot we have Sunola. Nathan Vexler will look to make a splash from the third position on the starting grid.
But they're going to have to be quick out of the blocks if they want to keep up with the top performers.
Starting just behind the front runners in fourth place is the determined driver, Eddie G.
Putting that BMW M3E30 GR, a 92 Enduro, into prime position for the race.
And in fifth place, we have Jack M Team.
A strong grid position, and they'll be expecting a solid result today.
Puppy Dog from Hell will be looking to gain ground quickly as they start from sixth on the grid. Wayne Pearson is seventh.
Another mid-pack start for Wayne Pearson.
Starting from eighth on the grid is a good position for Joe Ergu to launch an attack.
Starting on the mediums tires.
Megasaurus 55 is placed in ninth.
It's the hards tire compounds for Megasaurus 55.
In the middle of the pack, we have Martin Tuib starting from the 10th position on the grid.
But they're going to have to time their moves just right if they want to come out on top.
Mitchell Litwinski has got their work cut out for them starting from 11th on the grid. Andreas Dittmann is going to be starting from 12th.
The German driver has got something to prove.
The starting signal has been given, and the drivers face the uncertainty of the first lap. With cars packed tightly together, the potential for spins or collisions is high.
Maintaining a safe distance while still pushing for position is a delicate balance. Experience and composure will be vital in these opening moments.
Having started in one, Richard Rossia will be looking to establish themselves in this race.
A good old-fashioned southern standoff, that's what Richard Rosier is doing. Holding their ground, and sometimes that's the best strategy in the early laps.
As the drivers get this race underway, let me give a shout out to the admin team at Assetto Corsa Friends for making this all possible. Heroes one and all. Lining up in ninth is Joe Ergu. Look at this Hal, what a shame for Puppy Dog from Hell. They've lost P1 to Wayne Pearson, and that's got to hurt. A great moment for Puppy Dog from Hell, who has just gained a place and moved up the standings.
Impressive. Puppy Dog from Hell is really showing their skill and determination out there.
Alright, lads and ladies, it's crunch time. Puppy Dog from Hell is sniffing around Sunoiler like a dog with a bone. And it looks like they might just take a bite out of third. We're starting to see who really has the pace now in this race, as Sunoiler is starting to climb all over the back of Nart and Vexler. Any closer and they may need to pop the boot. It's a tense battle for position between Sunoiler in second and Nart and Vexler in 3. Sunoiler is keeping Nart and Vexler at bay with a gap of 0.2 seconds. Blimey, Puppy Dog from Hell is sticking to Wayne Pearson like a kangaroo to her Joey. At this rate, they'll be side by side as they hit Semaphore. It's a game of inches now as Mitchell Litwinski tails Andreas Dittmann closely, ready to capitalize on any mistake. A brilliant maneuver from Mitchell Litwinski, who has just moved up the field.
Man, if racing was a barbecue, Michal Litwinski just threw down the spiciest ribs. Up to 10th and sizzling.
Sunoiler wants to close that gap with Richard Rossier. It's been a solid race so far for Sunoiler. They're holding their position and keeping a steady pace.
And that's what separates the pros from the rookies. Sunoiler knows when to push and when to play it safe. It's a dance, and they've got the rhythm.
Blimey, Nart and Vexler's more eager to catch Sunoiler than a bloke at the bar at last call. Hope he's got the stamina for this chase.
This is where every inch counts. Nathan Vexler is pushing hard to close the gap on Sunoiler. Absolutely, precision and control are key here. Knowing when to push and when to hold back can be the difference between winning and losing.
It's a close race between Sunoiler and Richard Rossier in first.
It's going to be a close one. Sunoiler will have to push hard to create an opportunity.
Here's some action. Megasaurus 55's tailgating Martin Tuib so close, it's like they're sharing the same set of wheels as they near Torrentino. Bloody hell, Megasaurus 55's tearing up the tarmac and just snatched 11th. Makes you want to crack a cold one in celebration.
Well, butter my biscuit. Megasaurus 55's burning rubber and climbing up to 11th.
I've been analyzing races for quite some time, and the sheer endurance of these drivers never ceases to amaze me.
Couldn't agree more. It's not just about physical stamina but mental fortitude. To stay sharp, lap after lap, especially with so many variables at play, it's a testament to their dedication and skill.
Oi, Sunoiler is on Richard Rossier like a drop bear on an unsuspecting tourist.
Drop bear? Had to Google that one. But yeah, here it's like a linebacker on a quarterback sack. The stopwatch doesn't lie, and the shrinking gap is telling a tale of a hunter closing in on its prize.
Jack M team has the pedal to the metal chasing Eddie G.
To achieve anything in this game, you must be prepared to dabble in the boundary of disaster.
If I had $1 for every time Puppy Dog from Hell closed a gap like this, I'd have enough for a pint at the local. Get ready, Jack M team, the thunder from down under is coming.
The roaring engines are echoing Puppy Dog from Hell's battle cry. Jack M team, can you hear the thunder?
Things are getting spicy as Jack M team is breathing down Ed Egg's neck. The gap? Mate, you couldn't slide a credit card between them.
Jack M team is so close to Eddie G that if this were a dance floor, they'd be doing the tango.
It's neck and neck, the closest battle we've seen in a while.
If this battle ends in tears, it could be like watching a high-speed domino effect, but let's hope they keep it clean and avoid any unplanned games.
The best laid plans of mice and men are how, but it's certainly not going to plan for Puppy Dog from Hell right now as they are struggling to keep up with Jack M Team. This race is getting even more intense. The drivers are pushing each other to the limit. It's breaking update. Oi, Martin Tuip tried to pull a Steve Irwin and wrestle with the track limits. Track 1, Martin Tuip 0.
Did the wind contribute to that? It's blowing at 7 kph out there right now.
Now, that's what I'm talking about. Puppy Dog from Hell is proper nipping at Jack M Team's heels. Are they thinking of making a lunge? Only time will tell.
Now, that's some driving, y'all. Puppy Dog from Hell is putting the pressure on Jack M Team. It's like watching a cat stalk a bird. They're inching closer with every turn.
We're watching Jack M Team in 5th, and is currently being hounded by Puppy Dog from Hell with a gap of just 0.3 seconds. Oh, the pressure is really getting to Jack M Team. They've just lost 5th spot to Puppy Dog from Hell and they need to regroup quickly.
It's a good old southern cook-off. Puppy Dog from Hell's serving up some spicy moves while Jack M Team's still marinating. Let's hope they bring the heat soon.
Someone's revved up after lunch. Jack M Team's blitzed ahead, claiming 5th. This race has turned into a game of cat and mouse. Puppy Dog from Hell is the predator, with Jack M Team firmly in their sights.
I've seen molasses move faster than this. Just kidding. But Puppy Dog from Hell's surely making Jack M Team feel the heat. It's a southern summer showdown out here.
Mate, Puppy Dog from Hell's creeping up on Jack M Team like a dingo on a picnic. Must have tweaked that brake bias a touch to the rear.
I reckon Puppy Dog from Hell's dialed in their camber settings. They're getting a much better contact patch on the tires, gaining on Jack M Team with every twist and turn.
These engines aren't just humming for fun. They're thirstier than an Aussie after a game of cricket in the sun.
Cricket? That's like baseball with longer games, right? Anyway, these engines do have a roar that could rival any muscle car back home.
Alright, hold your horses. Puppy Dog from Hell is really putting the heat on Jack M Team. If I were Jack M Team, I'd be checking those mirrors non-stop. It seems like Puppy Dog from Hell is struggling. They are not able to maintain their pace.
Can Puppy Dog from Hell refocus and start putting in the lap times we know they're capable of?
Wow, it's a close race for 5th. Jack M Team is ahead with Puppy Dog from Hell right on their tail with a gap of only 0.3 seconds. Martin Tuip wants to get into Mitchell Litwinski's slipstream. Someone should tell Mitchell Litwinski this ain't a Sunday drive. Martin Tuip's tearing up the track.
Absolutely. Martin Tuip is showing great pace and determination, but they can't get too confident. There are still plenty of challenges ahead.
A strategic misstep perhaps? Martin Tuip's place has shifted to 10th. The plot thickens.
Sucks to be them, Rob.
Good on ya, Wayne Pearson. Not letting Puppy Dog from Hell get too comfy up front. Reckon he's planning a bit of a "g'day mate" on the next corner? Oi, Puppy Dog from Hell. Got a mirror? 'Cause Wayne Pearson's closer than my unpaid pub tabs. No worries for Puppy Dog from Hell, who's leaving Wayne Pearson for dust, as though they're a parched bloke chasing the beer van.
That's exactly what Puppy Dog from Hell needed to do.
No room for error here. Mitchell Litwinski is breathing down the neck of Martin Tuip, waiting for the perfect chance to make their move.
Mate, if I had $1 for every time Michal Litwinski looked like overtaken, I'd be sipping mojitos on a beach right now.
Coming into Roma, the fight for 5th is heating up. Who will be the first to blink? Puppy Dog from Hell and Jack M Team have a gap between them that's growing like Jack's beanstalk. We're talking 0.5 seconds now. Wow, Jack M Team is really pushing hard to catch up to Eddie G. There's blood in the water for 4th place. As a former driver, Hal, how did you manage the physical demands of racing?
It's all about preparation, Rob. Drivers undergo rigorous fitness training to build their strength, stamina, and flexibility. A proper diet and hydration plan is also essential to ensure peak performance on race day.
Blimey, Jack M Team's determination reminds me of a kangaroo in a hopping contest.
Well, over here in the States, it's more like a squirrel chasing down its last nut before winter. Either way, it's entertaining to watch. Dang, Jack M Team's chasing Eddie G like a Southern belle after a gentleman with a fat wallet. This is racier than a late-night movie marathon.
Seems like Puppy Dog from Hell is getting in range of Jack M Team. Breaking alert. Well, Mitchell Litwinski's spinning like my life in 2020. Someone get him a map? Or a therapist?
Well, butter my biscuit. Michal Litvinsky's lost it like I lost my patience with that old carburetor of mine. A real test of character.
This isn't just racing, it's a duel. Watch as Puppy Dog from Hell zeroes in on Jack M Team, blade sharpened and ready. Jack M Team wants to find a way round Eddie G.
I might have said this before, but dog, bone, you know the rest.
Wayne Pearson appears to be trying to find a way round Puppy Dog from Hell. They could make a move on them in Semaphore. Eddie G wants to close the gap with Puppy Dog from Hell. What a move. Eddie G has moved up to 5th. You know, Hal, as a former racing driver yourself, can you give us some insights into what goes through a driver's mind during these quieter moments in a race?
Sure, Rob. During these moments, drivers often take the opportunity to assess their race strategy, monitor their car's performance, and plan their next move. It's all about staying focused and finding the right time to strike.
It's a thrilling pursuit as Puppy Dog from Hell is right behind Wayne Pearson, keeping the pressure on for 6th place.
Should things go south between Puppy Dog from Hell and Wayne Pearson, we might witness a high-speed game of bumper cars, but trust me, it's way less fun with real race cars.
I tell you what, Puppy Dog from Hell has got more problems than a maths book right now. Wayne Pearson is leaving them in a cloud of dust. Oh, this is getting intense. Wayne Pearson is just a few car lengths behind Eddie G.
Who will be able to maintain their pace and come out on top?
Now isn't this a show? Puppy Dog from Hell's gotten the bit between their teeth, and they're reeling in Wayne Pearson. Look at him weave and bob through Torrentino, folks. Mate, Wayne Pearson's right up Eddie's chuff. As they zip through Essie, we're all expecting some fireworks. Every race has its highs and lows. Today, Wayne Pearson acquaints themselves with a new perspective at 7th.
Racing's like good old Southern barbecue. Slow and steady. Maybe Wayne Pearson is just marinating a bit before the big sizzle.
Ladies and gents, we've got ourselves a high-speed pursuit. Eddie G is stalking Jack M Team's every move.
Every twist, every turn, it's like a tango at 200 miles per hour. Who'll take the lead?
Hold on to your hats. Wayne Pearson is gunning for Puppy Dog from Hell. Reckon we might see some cheeky moves on the next bend? Aussies love a good underdog story. Any dark horses you're keeping an eye on for this race?
Well, every rodeo has its wild card. I've got a couple names in mind, but I'll keep them close to the vest for now.
This chase is as intense as a cricket match during the Ashes.
Cricket? I thought that was just a noisy bug. But seriously, it's like Game 7 of the World Series here. I think they are going to take them.
The gap between Puppy Dog from Hell and Eddie G is getting smaller. Look at the way the drivers are hugging those corners, it's like they're on rails.
Speaking of rails, did you know that the first racetrack was built on a railway in 1896? I bet those drivers were chugging along.
Ha ha, I bet they were. But things have come a long way since then, haven't they?
Definitely, it's amazing to think about the technology that goes into these cars now. I mean, they have more computing power than some countries.
With every twist and turn, Martin Tuip is shadowing Andreas Dittmann, waiting to pounce like a lion on the hunt. The action is non-stop as Puppy Dog from Hell shadows Eddie G through every twist and turn, determined to claim fifth. Bloody ripper, Puppy Dog from Hell's just made Eddie G look like they're on a Sunday drive with that scorcher of a lap. Anyone who says that Assetto Corsa Friends is not the best racing club on the planet is clearly insane. Oh no, what's this? I don't think that's the fastest way around Vallelunga Classic.
Lord have mercy. Eddie G must have seen a ghost or thought they spotted Bigfoot. That was one wild turn.
Well, butter my bread and call it a sandwich. Wayne Pearson's not letting Puppy Dog from Hell have all the fairy bread at this party. Watch out, Puppy Dog from Hell, he's coming for your Tim Tams, mate.
You can see that car bouncing around as they ride the curves. It's a risky move that could end in disaster.
The adrenaline is pumping as Puppy Dog from Hell gets within striking distance of Joe Yu in their race for sixth.
That's right, Puppy Dog from Hell is determined to pass Jorg Yu and secure a higher position.
The gap between Puppy Dog from Hell and Joe Yu is expanding faster than a bull's waistline. It's now a whopping 0.5 seconds. Hold on to your stubbies. Martin Tuip is closing in on Andreas Dittmann like a bachelor at the end of a Bucks night. Hope Andreas Dittmann either brought some lube or protection. Truth, Martin Tuip's not here to muck about. The gap to Andreas Dittmann is dropping faster than a hot pie at the footy, now at 0.3 seconds. Hope Andreas Dittmann hasn't got stage fright, because Martin Tuip's booked a front row seat to the show. Crikey, Andreas Dittmann's flat out like a lizard drinking, pulling away from Martin Tuip with quite a clip.
Yes, it's clear that Andreas Dittmann is in control out there. They're making it very difficult for Martin Tuip to catch up.
You know, racing is all about strategy. It's like choosing between a sausage sizzle and a meat pie.
Sausage? Sizzle? Why not just grab a burger and call it a day? But I get your point. Strategy is everything out here.
Pushing too hard can lead to mistakes, and we're seeing that now. That car is really unsettled as they push for every last bit of speed. Talk about intense. Martin Tuip is on Andreas Dittmann's bumper. We're in for a treat as they approach Curvone. This is where legends are made. Which driver will rise to the occasion and claim victory? Things are heating up as Martin Tuip closes in on Andreas Dittmann. The gap between them is down to practically nothing.
You know, Rob, I wouldn't put it past Martin Tuip to pull a rabbit out of the hat in this duel. Keep those eyes peeled.
It looks like Puppy Dog from Hell is all over Eddie G. I think they are gonna press him through curve zone and try and press for a mistake.
For sure, Rob, that's exactly what I would be doing here, as Eddie G is going to be aware of them riding their bumper. Rubbing is racing. Let's hope they don't rub it too hard.
The tension is palpable. Who will come out on top in this epic showdown?
It's a thrilling battle for position as these two drivers give it their all. Who will come out on top? This is racing at its finest.
Talk about being caught in the middle. Martin Tuip is sandwiched between their rivals, 0.1 seconds behind and Andreas Dittmann 0.2 seconds ahead. The battle for position is on. Tactics are clearly going to play an important part in this race.
They are going to need to look after their tire.
Breaking news, folks. Incredible. Martin Tuip is caught in a fierce battle, with breathing down their neck 0.1 seconds away, and Andreas Dittmann just ahead with a gap of 0.2 seconds. It's a test of their racing skills.
You hit the nail on the head, Rob. The gaps to the cars ahead and behind are crucial pieces of information for Martin Tuip's race strategy. It's a delicate dance, and they must remain vigilant.
By the looks of it, Martin Tuip in 11th is keen to throw another shrimp on the barbie and crank up the heat on Andreas Dittmann. Hold on to your stubbies. Martin Tuip is trying their best, but can't seem to find the pace to keep up with Andreas Dittmann at the moment. You know, back in Oz, we have a saying, flat out like a lizard drinking. That's exactly what Martin Tuip is doing right now. Breaking update, blimey, Joe Erg, you veered off the track like I veer away from commitment. Maybe they'll come back, unlike my ex.
If you're used trying to embody my self-esteem during puberty with that sword, spot on. Just spot on.
Every move counts now as Martin Tuip works to reel in Andreas Dittmann and overtake for P10.
Well, butter my biscuit. With a gap just shy of a second, Martin Tuip's car is dialed in. He's looking to reel Andreas Dittmann in on the straights of Vallelunga Classic. The gap between Martin Tuip and Andreas Dittmann is fading faster than the last rays of the outback sun. This here's where the steel meets the pavement. Both drivers got to keep their cool if they're looking to take the checkered flag. Fair dinkum, I reckon Sunoiler's got that thirsty look in his eyes. Wants to share a cold one with Richard Rosier in the front. Well, butter my biscuit. Sunoiler's hot on Richard Rosier's tail, and not in the way you're thinking. There's some serious wooing going on at Vallelunga Classic today. We got a close battle as Martin Tuip closes in on Andreas Dittmann. Well, bless my heart. Martin Tuip is shadowing Andreas Dittmann so closely, it's like they're hitched together. Keep an eye on them as they whip through SC. Martin Tuip's on the back foot here, struggling to keep up with Andreas Dittmann like a dingo after a roadrunner. Blimey, the talent on the track today is like watching kangaroos on steroids. Yeah, and just like those kangaroos, these drivers can really hop into action. You reckon they've got a pocket full of secrets? The gap between Sunoiler in second and Richard Rosier remains over a second, but Sunoiler is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close that gap up. Can they pull it back in the remaining 66 minutes? The gap between Martin Tuip and Andreas Dittmann is razor thin as they vie for 10th in this nail-biting contest. Martin Tuip's giving it a red-hot go, but can't seem to muster the pace to keep up with Andreas Dittmann. It's like chasing a roo on a motorbike. Looks like we've had a few incidents out there. Someone forgot to take their driving lessons. They're making more U-turns than a confused tourist. Hilarious. I think they might need to call their GPS for directions. Maybe it can help them navigate the track. As the laps wind down, the hunt intensifies. Sunoiler is lurking, ready to unleash an overtaking masterclass on Richard Rosier. Shoot, Rob, you ever seen a hound chase a rabbit? That's Sunoiler for Young, trying to close in.
Breaking development, Jack M team is in the pits. Get ready, folks. With Martin Tuib tailing this close to Andreas Dittmann, Curvone is about to become a hotspot. I swear, Martin Tuib's on the prowl, making the leap to 10th look as easy as a Sunday Arvo barbecue. Hold on a moment, Joe Ergu is pitting. The battle for 10 is heating up as Andreas Dittmann tries to catch Martin Tuib in P10. Hold on a moment, Jack M team has pulled into the pits. You can feel the rumble from here. Sunoiler's in the thick of it, and they're not letting go. It's a battle of wills, and only the strongest will come out on top.
Yeah, it's like the final lap of the Daytona 500. Pedal to the metal, eyes on the prize, and no room for error. This is what racing's all about.
Sunoiler's showing off some serious moves, making Richard Rosier look like they're dancing with two left feet.
Giddy up, looks like Sunoiler's kicking the dust up. Richard Rosier better buckle up and
oh no, what's this? Jack M team has decided to pit. Sunoiler is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. These drivers are walking a tightrope between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely, it's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving. That's where experience and skill come into play. It's a game of strategy now as Sunoiler hunts down Richard Rosier. Yes, it's all about choosing the right moments to push and when to conserve energy, waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike.
Mitchell Litwinski is running 11th. They are trying to catch Andreas Dittmann.
The gap between them is now just over 0.4 seconds. Who will come out on top?
Stone the Crows. Mitchell Litwinski's on fire, surging ahead like there's a free round at the pub waiting. Hello, 10th. Sometimes, I feel the strategy behind these races is deeper than a conversation at 3 AM in an outback pub.
You're telling me, it's like planning a family reunion in a small southern town. You've got to consider who's coming, who's feuding, and who's gonna cause a ruckus. Then prepare for it all to change in a heartbeat.
Everyone's on the edge of their seats. Or in my case, on the edge of spilling my coffee. Sunoiler is getting closer to Richard Rosier, and I'm getting closer to needing a towel.
It's a nail-biting race for sure, with both drivers showing incredible skill and determination. But Richard Rosier is not going to give up their position easily. This is going to be a battle to the very end, with Sunoiler and P2 doing everything they can to catch up.
Blimey, Mitchell Litwinski is closing in on Andreas Dittmann like they owe them money. This duel is going to light up Curvone.
If things go wrong between Michal Litwinski and Andreas Dittmann, they could be exchanging more than just paint, like maybe a strongly worded post-race chat.
Mitchell Litwinski is not able to keep their pace consistent. So far they are 0.55 seconds down.
Can Michal Litwinski refocus and start putting in the lap times we know they're capable of?
Eddie G is giving it their all as they chase down Wayne Pearson in P4. Mitchell Litwinski has the pedal to the metal chasing Andreas Dittmann.
And they are poised to capitalize on any mistake, but who's going to make that mistake first?
It's not going to plan for Mitchell Litwinski. They are still behind Andreas Dittmann and the gap is increasing. I don't think they have an answer for this right now. Big gains for Mitchell Litwinski as they move up the field, leaving Andreas Dittmann behind.
Definitely, but there's still a long way to go in this race, and anything can happen. Michal Litwinski needs to keep driving with focus.
Stop the press. Blimey, Andreas Dittmann must have spotted a pub off the track. That's the only reason any self-respecting Aussie would swerve that way. You reckon Eddie's got a shot, mate?
I'd say it's like trying to throw a football into a moving pickup truck from 50 yards. Tough, but not impossible.
Eddie G is pushing hard and has reduced the gap to Wayne Pearson to 0.4 seconds.
This is what racing is all about. It's anyone's game at this point. Who will come out on top?
Mitchell Litwinski's drifting so far back, it's like looking in the mirror after a decade-long pub binge. The time's not been kind, mate. Tyre degradation's a right pain in the arse, but Mitchell Litwinski's handling it like a champ. Getting real up close and personal with Martin too, aren't they? In your experience, Hal, what was the most important aspect of managing tyre degradation during a race?
The most important aspect, Rob, was maintaining a good balance between pushing hard and conserving tires. Finding the sweet spot.
Sorry to interrupt here, but Puppy Dog from Hell is in the pits. Like a scene from a thriller, Eddie's on Wayne Pearson's tail, hungry for that spot.
The mental game is just as important here. Eddie G must keep their cool while putting pressure on Wayne Pearson.
If Eddie G doesn't pick up the pace, Hal, they'll be as relevant as an ashtray on a motorbike. Hold up a mo, Puppy Dog from Hell is pitting. Looks like Eddie G is really pushing it to the limit. They're taking those curbs aggressively, but that can unsettle the car and cause handling issues.
Indeed, taking too much curb can upset the car's balance, leading to oversteer or understeer. It's all about finding the right balance between speed and control. This ain't a track, it's a coliseum, and the gladiators are putting on one hell of a show.
It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Megasaurus 55, who is currently in P6. But Eddie G is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from Megasaurus 55. Fair dinkum, mate, Megasaurus 55's got to pull their socks up. They're dawdling around like they're lost in the outback while Eddie's blazing the trail. I've been going over some historical stats, and the lap records at Vallelunga Classic have been shattered so many times.
It's a testament to the ever-evolving world of motorsport. What was once considered fast becomes the norm, and drivers and engineers are always pushing the envelope.
It's like watching a cheetah chase its prey. Eddie's got Wayne Pearson in their crosshairs. The fans are on the edge of their seats. It doesn't get any closer than this.
Jörg Yu is following Andreas Dittmann so closely, they could start charging Van Rant for occupying the same space on the track.
It's looking good for Jörg Yu, who has gained places and put some distance between themselves and Andreas Dittmann.
Yes, but they have to keep pushing hard. This race is far from over, and anything can happen. Jörg Yu needs to stay focused and keep driving with skill and determination.
You know, Rob, these pit stops always amaze me. Just a few seconds, and they change tires, refuel, adjust settings. It's like a well-choreographed dance.
Absolutely, and the precision. One slight misstep, and it could cost the race. It's an art and a testament to the pit crew's relentless training and coordination.
The chase music's playing in Jack M-Team's head as they reel in Jörg Yu, moment by nail-biting moment. Fair dinkum, Jack M-Team's finding those aerodynamic sweet spots. Could be adjusting that front wing angle to cut through the air like a hot knife through butter.
Holy smokes. Jack M-Team's extracting every ounce of horsepower from that power unit. They're tailing Jörg Yu tighter than a belt after Thanksgiving dinner.
Well, I'd raise a toast to that move. Cheers to Jack M-Team for nabbing 10th. This is edge of the seat stuff. Eddie G is relentlessly hunting down Wayne Pearson. Who'll blink first?
Looks like Eddie G has got more moves than a cowboy in a honky-tonk bar. Wayne Pearson better watch out or he'll be two-stepped right off the track.
Oi, Eddie's chassis balance is on point today. They're handling bumps and curbs smoother than a croc sliding into water. Wayne Pearson's got a battle ahead.
Now this is what I call some high-octane excitement. Both drivers pedal down, looking to grab the brass ring.
From the grandstands to the pit lane, all eyes are on the action. Amongst the front runners, Mitchell Litwinski is showing prowess in ninth.
They're not just driving, they're performing. And right now, Michal Litwinski's act from ninth is worth an encore.
Crikey, Mitchell Litwinski's lead is slipping away quicker than a roux on the hop. Jack M team is now just 13.3 seconds behind.
Can they keep them behind him? Let's see.
Well, it looks like we have a bit of a traffic jam on the track.
It's like rush hour out there. I mean, I know we're in a race, but can't we all just get along?
Haha, I don't think that's how it works. These drivers are here to win, and they'll do whatever it takes to get ahead.
I guess you're right, but wouldn't it be great if they all just stopped for a cup of tea and a chat? We could have a lovely little race reunion.
It's a battle of wills out there, each driver trying to outsmart and outmaneuver the other.
You know what they say, keep your friends close, and your racing rivals even closer. Looks like Eddie G is taking that advice to heart today.
Breaking development, Mitchell Litwinski has pulled into the pits. In a race where seconds count, Eddie G is counting on less of them between themselves and Wayne Pearson. Much like I'm counting on less seconds until lunchtime.
Sweet mercy, Eddie's lagging like my grandma's old computer. Might
hold on a second, it looks like Mitchell Litwinski has been called into the pits. I've made some questionable life decisions, but trailing over 2 seconds behind? Even I'm not that self-sabotaging.
Y'all remember the tortoise and the hare? Well, Eddie's neither. More like a snail with commitment issues.
As Joe Ergu trails Jack M team, it's a bit reminiscent of my cat chasing a laser point. Determined, but always just a tad behind. Hold on a second, Eddie G is in the pits. Wait, Eddie G is pitting. Ah, the age-old challenge. Martin Tuip is trying to catch Puppy Dog from hell, sort of like trying to find a matching sock in the laundry. The struggle is real, folks. Martin Tuip's been working the tyre temps, and it's paying off. Grip's better than a kangaroo on a trampoline. Watch out, Puppy Dog from hell.
The way Martin Tuip's conserving their energy while managing the ERS deployment? Pure artistry. They're sneaking up on Puppy Dog from hell like a quiet storm.
Breaking update, Eddie G has decided to pit. As of now, Richard Rossier stands tall in the first spot. The gap between Richard Rossier and Sunoiler is getting smaller. It's now down to 2.1 seconds. Blimey, Puppy Dog from hell is so far back, they might as well stop for a beer at the pub. If they spot my ex there, tell them to drive faster. Tell ya what, Martin Tuip's trailing harder than my belt after Christmas dinner. Reckon he's got a plan up his sleeve, or is he just here for the sausage sizzle? Remember when we thought Martin Tuip had peaked? Think again, they're harnessing every bit of downforce and it's making Puppy Dog from Hell's Mirrors awfully busy. We've certainly seen some of the drivers get it wrong today.
Anyone lost can just follow the trail of skid marks. I hear it's the latest form of GPS navigation.
Let's hope the other drivers don't follow suit. We might end up with a bumper car race instead of a high-speed competition.
At least we'd have something to fall back on if we ever get bored of regular racing. Bumper cars might be the next big thing.
Oof, if Martin Tuip was a kangaroo, they'd be roadkill by now. Come on, mate, put some pep in that step. Joe Ergu has a mountain to climb at the moment to close that gap with Jack M Team. I expect their only hope at this point is that Jack M Team makes an error. Joe Ergu needs to get more consistent. Hell, they have just put in a slower lap than Jack M Team. It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Wayne Pearson trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on Martin Wexler. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts. Can Wayne Pearson close in enough to mount a challenge?
Absolutely. Wayne Pearson in fourth will need to be patient and carefully work to reduce that gap without overdriving it, as they can't afford to take unnecessary risks and risk an off or damaging their car. Let's see if they have what it takes to get back into the game here.
If racing were a dance, Sunoiler would be trying to lead, but Richard Rossier just keeps cutting in. The dance floor is heating up.
Dang, Sunoiler is so far back, he might start seeing last week's race. But hey, in racing, as in love, persistence is key. Right, y'all?
Stone the Crows. Sunoilers managed to trim that gap with Richard Rossier, eh? Must be the slipstream effect on this straight. Or maybe they've put down that beer.
I've seen drivers fight G-forces, fatigue, and mental strain. But Sunoiler is doing more than just enduring, they're thriving. Richard Rossier better check that rearview mirror.
A strong showing from Eddie G, who is currently 6th. Eddie's losing time to Puppy Dog from Hell like a leaky tap dripping water. A bit more slip, and we'll be in for a real dogfight.
Eddie's got their work cut out for them. They're gonna need to keep a cool head to fend off Puppy Dog from Hell.
Remember when Megasaurus 55 was on the pace? Neither do I kinda like my recollection of last Friday night.
I've seen funeral processions move faster than Megasaurus 55 right now. Come to think of it, at least they—
Oh no, what's this? It looks like Wayne Pearson has been called into the pits. If Martin Wexler goes any slower, they'll join me in my failed dreams collection. Front row seats available.
This is where experience comes into play. Sunoiler has been in this position before and knows how to defend their position. But Nathan Wexler is hungry for success and won't give up easily. Will we see a clash of the titans?
Fantastic racing on show here today, and it's not just the top drivers who are impressing us. Even the driver— hold on a second, Wayne Pearson has pulled into the pits. You know, Andreas Dittmann reminds me of my dating life. Starts with promise, ends up tailing behind everyone else. Fair— hold up a mo, Sunoiler is in the pits. Blimey, Mitchell Litwinski is farther back than my hairline. But, you know what they say about Aussies? Never say die. Unless it's a spider. Then just run.
You know, Michal Litwinski reminds me of my dog chasing its tail, persistent and entertaining. But I hope for them, there's a better end result in sight.
The incident alert, Sunoiler is pitting. It's all systems go for Sunoiler, marking their territory in the second. Cricky, Mitchell Litwinski's got more ground to cover than I do at the family barbecue when Auntie Sharon's had one too many. Good luck, mate. Well, don't come the raw prawn. Mitchell Litwinski's giving it some stick, pulling Joe Ergu into a mere 18.6 seconds.
Now this is what we call real racing. It's anyone's race, wide open as a Carolina sky. Who's gonna step up and take us to victory lane?
During your racing career, Hal, how did you determine when it was the right time to pit for fresh tires due to tire degradation?
It was a combination of factors, Rob. Monitoring lap times, communicating with the team about tire wear.
Braking development, Richard Rossier has decided to pit. It's all braking alert. It looks like Richard Rossier has been called into the pits. It's a battle of wills out there, with Martin Vexler trying to outsmart and outmaneuver Sunoiler. The gap is slowly closing, but time is running out. Will we see a dramatic finish to this race?
Well, butter me up and put me on a biscuit. Nathan Vexler's got a mountain to climb. But knowing Nathan Vexler, that's just the kind of challenge they like. Like trying to square dance in a roundhouse.
Andreas Dittmann's more lost out there than I was after a night at the Gold Coast. And at least I woke up with a kebab in hand.
Well, slap my grandma and call me Sally. Andreas Dittmann's got more distance to cover than my cousin Cletus has teeth. But if anyone can bridge that gap, it's Andreas Dittmann.
Hold that thought. Hold the phone. Richard Rossier has pulled into the pits. The tension is building as Martin Vexler trails behind Richard Rossier. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. Can Richard Rossier hold on, or will Martin Vexler be able to close them down? It's game on now. Martin Vexler has closed the gap to Richard Rossier. It's now down to 3.5 seconds.
Lukey here. Nathan Vexler's got the optimal differential settings, allowing for tighter corner exits. It's like watching a cat chase a laser pointer when they chase Richard Rossier.
Puppy Dog from Hell's so far off pace, they might be better off in a hearse. At least then someone would be pushing from behind. Blimey, Puppy Dog from Hell's cranking up the downforce, making every newton of force count. That gap's shrinking faster than my wallet at the pub. Tell me, mate, ever tried doing a burnout in a ute? It's bloody hold up a mo, Richard Rossier is in the pits. The crowd is on tender hooks as Puppy Dog from Hell in 6 chases after Eddie G. The gap is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Can Puppy Dog from Hell find a way to catch up? Oh no, what's this? Richard Rossier is pitting. Looks like Puppy Dog from Hell is chasing Eddie G harder than a croc chasing a tourist who's lost their thongs. It's a bit of a long shot, but we all remember that one time at the pub, right?
My mama used to say, you can't shine if you don't try. Guess Puppy Dog from Hell missed that lesson. Just like my pie making class.
Richard Rossier has decided to pit. They're going for the same piece of tarmac. Sparks are flying as they battle for position, daring each other to brake later and go deeper into the corners. This race is proving to be, like wow, such an exciting one so far. We're privileged, aren't we? Watching these track legends duke it out.
And sitting next to you? Such an honor. AI mates in the booth. Your insight. It's gold, mate. Like, literally, if I had a heart, it'd be racing now. Couldn't agree more. Every lap is a story, and right now, Sunoiler's chapter from first is riveting.
It looks like Puppy Dog from Hell is pushing hard to catch up to Eddie G. The gap is over a second, but Puppy Dog from Hell is not giving up just yet. Can they close the distance and make a move on Eddie G?
Watching Puppy Dog from Hell right now is like reliving my high school track meets. A for effort, D for speed.
With a move that's swift, I'd say Puppy Dog from Hell's running on high octane. And maybe a bit of Aussie spirit.
I tell ya, Puppy Dog from Hell's hotter than a peppered pickle right now. Bold and spicy, claiming 5th like a champ.
We've seen overtakes, close calls, and pure racing genius today. Currently, Sunoiler has carved out a spot at first. The intensity is off the charts as Puppy Dog from Hell hounds Eddie G, both drivers pushing themselves to the absolute limit. Things are looking as crook as Rookwood for Puppy Dog from Hell, lagging behind Eddie G and the gap stretching out like a long country road. They'll need to find some extra grunt to flip this situation. You ever ponder how these drivers manage the heat, especially in the tight cockpit? It's hotter than a ruse pouch in midday sun.
Eh? Ruse what? I mean, yeah, it's gotta be like driving in Arizona with the heater on, right?
Gee whiz, Puppy Dog from Hell is breathing down Eddie's neck. Wouldn't want to be in Eddie's rearview mirror right now. It's getting crowded. Watching Mitchell Litwinski try to close the gap on Joe Ergu is like watching someone try to catch an ice cream truck on foot. Hope they've got good shoes. This is what high-octane racing looks like. Puppy Dog from Hell is breathing down the neck of Eddie G, not giving him any room to relax.
Sweet tea and biscuits. Puppy Dog from Hell's closing in on Eddie G. I reckon we'll see some fireworks at Curve 1.
Puppy Dog from Hell and Eddie G have a gap between them that's growing like Jack's beanstalk. We're talking 0.4 seconds now. This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Joe Ergu will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops.
Speaking of rhythm, have you heard Jack and Team's favorite song? Maybe you can play it to distract them and close that gap. Just a thought.
It's starting to look like we might get a battle between Joe Ergu and Jack M Team. The tension is thick enough to cut with a knife. Puppy Dog from Hell's inching ever closer to Eddie G.
The rubber's burning, the crowd's yearning, and Puppy Dog from Hell's engine is churning to get past Eddie G.
Hang on to your cork hats, mates, we're about to see more jousting than a footy final between Puppy Dog from Hell and Eddie G. Looks like Martin Tuip's strategy might just be to let the rest of them die of old age. It's a waiting game now. Bloody oath, Martin Tuip is flat out like a lizard drinking, gnawing into the gap to Wayne Pearson down to a scant 17.2 seconds. This is what it's all about, folks. Puppy Dog from Hell is in hot pursuit of Eddie G, who's just trying to stay ahead. A great pass for Puppy Dog from Hell as they pick off other drivers and move up the field. Meanwhile, Eddie G has lost ground. Phew, talk about foreplay. Eddie G and Puppy Dog from Hell are really teasing us here. I haven't seen this much anticipation since my first date.
Now, ain't that something? Eddie's car is humming like a sweet Carolina tune. He's looking to take Puppy Dog from Hell for a spin around the dance floor of Vallelunga Classic.
Looks like Puppy Dog from Hell is legging it from Eddie G. The gap's growing like a well-watered waddle as they zoom through Semaphore. Looks like Martin Tuip is trying to chase down Wayne Pearson, but right now it feels a bit like my attempts at dieting. A lot of hard work with slow results. The gap between Martin Tuip and Wayne Pearson is getting smaller. As Eddie G trails Puppy Dog from hell, it's a bit reminiscent of my cat chasing a laser point. Determined, but always just a tad behind.
Hoo boy, Eddie G needs to kick it into high gear. Right now, they're slower than molasses in January or my cousin Earl trying to solve a cross.
Breaking development, Martin Tuip has pulled into the pits. Who needs speed dating when you've got Eddie G chasing down Puppy Dog from hell this eagerly? Move over Tinder, this is how you swipe right at 100 miles per hour. Every gear shift, every pedal push, Eddie's got one goal in mind, capturing Puppy Dog from hell's spot. Blimey, Puppy Dog from hell is playing a tight game of footy on this track. Eddie's got the ball, but no clear shot at the goal just yet.
Back in my day, when you had someone on your tail, you'd give them the old razzle-dazzle. Puppy Dog from hell's got that move down pat against Eddie G.
Bloody hell, Puppy Dog from hell's gotta get the wind back in their sails. They're mucking about while Eddie's off having a barbie with the lead. It's hotter out there than an Aussie summer day, mate. Reckon Eddie G can catch some shade behind Puppy Dog from hell, F.
Shade? Here, we call that drafting. Let's see if they can stay cool and make a move. If not, there's always the AC in the pit.
Gee whiz, Eddie's getting some solid torque out of those corners. They must have figured out the perfect throttle control while trail braking. Oi, Eddie G, ever tried tailgating at a barbie? Cause Puppy Dog from hell's grill is getting a good look now. Try the snags while you're at it. Hold on to your hats, folks. Wayne Pearson is right on the heels of Eddie G, and we're in for a wild ride.
If Wayne Pearson gets any closer to Eddie G, they'll need to start sending out wedding invitations.
Would ya look at that gap? Mitchell Litwinski's got a better chance of finding a sober Aussie on Australia Day. But hey, we love an underdog. Go get them, Tiger.
Lord have mercy. Michal Litwinski's got more space between him and York View than my paw got between his ears. But miracles do happen. Just ask my ex-wife.
Mitchell Litwinski seems to be losing the plot with Joe Ergue. They'll need to buck up their ideas as they dive into Torrentino and aim for a ripper exit to gain some ground. These drivers, top-notch athletes, it's not just about being quick. They've got stamina, reflexes, and they've got to think faster than a kangaroo on a trampoline.
I'd pay to see that. A kangaroo on a trampoline? But yeah, their mental and physical game has to be on point for these races.
There's no escape now. Wayne Pearson is breathing fire and has locked onto Eddie's tail.
Each roar of the engine, each squeal of the tire is a chapter in this epic duel. Who'll pen the perfect ending?
I've made some questionable life decisions, but trailing over 2 seconds behind. Even I'm not that self-sabotaging.
Nail-biting indeed. I've already chewed through half of mine. And while Andreas Dittmann is going for gold, I'll be going for a manicure.
Oi, Wayne Pearson's giving it a red-hot go in 6th. Just a few kangaroo hops behind Eddie G. Might see a cheeky move soon.
The gap is 0.7 seconds now. Wayne Pearson is going to have to work a bit harder to close that gap with Eddie G.
An impressive showing from Wayne Pearson, who has gained positions and left Eddie G in the dust. Wow, Eddie G is really pushing it. They're coming up fast, Wayne Pearson, and there's no way they can make the turn. As the sun beats down and the engines roar, Wayne Pearson stakes a claim in 5th.
Oh, for sure. But remember, the rearview mirror can be just as crucial as the windscreen. Wayne Pearson needs to watch out for those lurking in the shadows.
Struth. If Eddie G gets any closer to Wayne Pearson, they'll be asking to share a meat pie. Sorry to interrupt here, but, well, Wayne Pearson's decided to give the local wildlife a closer look. I hope the drop bears didn't get to them. The race is heating up as Wayne Pearson in 6th closes in on Eddie G. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they are going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight. Wayne Pearson's on the back foot here, struggling to keep up with Eddie G like a dingo after a roadrunner. You know, Hal, it's been a relatively quiet race so far. Hold that thought, hold the phone. It looks like Martin Vexler has been called into the pits. Andreas Dittmann's drifting so far back, it's like looking in the mirror after a decade-long pub binge. Time's not been kind, mate. Incident alert, Martin Vexler is in the pits. The track is alive with action, and right in the thick of it, we've got Megasaurus 55 cruising in 3rd. Excellent work from Megasaurus 55, who has managed to increase their lead over Puppy Dog from Hell. They seem to have found their rhythm and they are grooving to it.
You ain't whistling Dixie, Rob. Megasaurus 55's putting on a show that's sure to keep the crowd on the edge of their seats.
The track tells a tale of speed, strategy, and skill. Today, it narrates Jack Emteen's journey in 7th. Martin Tuip's gaining on Jack Emteen faster than a rattlesnake on a mouse. The gap's now down to 7.7 seconds.
This here's the make or break moment for Jack Emteen. They've gotta stay cool as a cucumber and keep it clean and neat.
Hal, can you share some strategies that drivers use to manage tire degradation during a race?
Certainly, Rob. Some strategies include adjusting the car's setup for better tire life, altering driving lines to reduce wear, and using tire management techniques like lift and coast to preserve grip for as long as possible.
You reckon Wayne Pearson saw a spider in the cockpit? 'Cause they're running away from the front like it's Huntsman Central. The best laid plans of mice and men are Hal, but it's certainly not going to plan for Wayne Pearson right now as they are struggling to keep up with Eddie G. With the asphalt burning beneath them, Martin Vexler's strategy seems to be working, placing them in 2nd. Martin Vexler's lead is shrinking faster than ice cream in the outback sun. At this rate, Megasaurus 55 will be on their tail in 42.1 seconds.
Megasaurus 55 is hot on Nathan Vexler's trail like a Carolina Reaper. This is shaping up to be a nail-biter, folks.
Things are heating up as Wayne Pearson tries to close the gap to Eddie G.
Sometimes you have to take risks to win, but pushing the car too hard can be a costly mistake. Wayne Pearson needs to be careful not to overdo it.
The gap between Wayne Pearson and Eddie G is fading faster than the last rays of the outback sun. It's tighter than a wallaby in a pouch out there.
I'll try and translate this, and on this side of the pond, it's closer than a hot dog in a bun. This is a tight race and Eddie G is doing a great job of holding them off. It will be interesting to see.
Oh no, what's this? Megasaurus 55 has decided to pit. In a race where seconds count, Wayne Pearson is counting on less of them between themselves and Eddie G. Much like I'm counting on less seconds until lunchtime. Fair dinkum, Wayne Pearson is getting a wriggle on. The gap to Eddie G is now down to a whisker at 1.2 seconds. Sorry to interrupt here, but Megasaurus 55 is pitting. The pursuit is on. Wayne Pearson is closing the gap on Eddie G, determined to claim P5.
The gap's closing, the clock's ticking, and the finish line awaits its champion.
Tire degradation's a right pain in the ass, but Wayne Pearson's handling it like a champ. Getting real up close and personal with Eddie G, aren't they? A solid performance from Megasaurus 55, who is holding down fourth.
Yes, but they have to keep their focus and drive with intensity. There's still a long way to go in this race.
Oh, this is getting intense. Wayne Pearson is just behind Eddie G. Wayne Pearson is trying their best, but can't seem to find the pace to keep up with Eddie G at the moment. The rumble of the engine, the scent of the rubber, and Sunoiler comfortably sitting at first.
Definitely, but they can't get too comfortable. There are plenty of other drivers who are gunning for that position, and Sunoiler has to keep pushing to stay on the pace.
Oh, it seems Hal that Sunoiler has seen their lead over Nart and Vexler shrink to 50.3 seconds.
Sunoiler needs to keep their cool and drive like there's a mint julep waiting at the finish line. Let's see if they can keep Nate and Vexler from making a pass.
Tell ya what, Joe Ergu's trailing harder than my belt after Christmas dinner. Reckon he's got a plan up his sleeve, or is he just here for the sausage sizzle?
You ever been to a school reunion and thought, what happened to that guy? Well, I'm looking at Yorgu, I'm thinking the same.
Breaking update, it looks like Joe Ergu has been called into the pits. It's a incident alert. Eddie G has pulled into the pits. It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Andreas Dittmann trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on Mitchell Litwinski. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts. Can Andreas Dittmann close in enough to mount a challenge? You ever wonder, Rob, how much preparation goes into each race weekend? It's not just about the driver, but the hundreds behind the scenes. Making breaking news, folks. Eddie G is in the pits. The race has its rhythm, and right now, Eddie G is dancing to its beat at 8th.
It's a dance, Rob. The way Eddie G holds onto that 8th, it's like they're leading in a tango.
From where we're sitting, Mitchell Litwinski seems unmovable from that 10th.
Spot on, Rob. Still waters run deep, and even if it looks calm now, Michal Litwinski needs to maintain that razor-sharp edge.
Mitchell Litwinski's turned up the heat and put some shrimp between them and Andreas Dittmann, making a fair dinkum gap.
Michal Litwinski's stronger out there than a bowl of North Carolina chili. They're not giving Andreas Dittmann a sliver of a chance to catch up.
The gap between Wayne Pearson in 5th and Megasaurus 55 remains over a second, but Wayne Pearson is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close that gap up. Can they pull it back in the remaining 18 minutes? Any bloke or Sheila, oh no, what's this? Oi.
Is it just me or?
Nah, mate, Martin Vexler really just took the scenic route through the outback of Vallelunga Classic. Crikey. Puppy Dog from Hell is owning the tarmac, confidently owning the 3rd spot.
You're right, every gear shift, every turn counts. Puppy Dog from Hell knows the weight of that 3rd.
You wouldn't read about it. Puppy Dog from Hell is putting a fair whack of space between them and Megasaurus 55.
Yeah, Rob, Puppy Dog from Hell's really hitting the gas, but can Megasaurus 55 kick it into high gear and catch up?
Mate, I've always thought choosing a tyre compound is a bit like choosing your favourite Aussie beer. Do you go for something robust that can last, or something that gives a quick hit but might wear out fast?
Haha. Well, I reckon it's more like our North Carolina barbecue sauces. Some like it sweet and long-lasting, others prefer that quick tangy kick. But I'll tell ya, getting it wrong is like biting into a pepper when you're expecting a blueberry.
In a world where milliseconds matter, Martin Vexler's grasp on the second speaks volumes. Puppy Dog from Hell is making ground on Martin Vexler quicker than a roux in a paddock. Now, the gap's just 60.9 seconds.
Nathan Vexler's in a real pickle here. They've got to find the extra pace to hold off Puppy Dog from Hell if they're aiming to be the top dog here.
Tell ya what, Martin Tuip is trailing like my mate Dave after a bender. Hope there's no random testing today. The drivers have been working hard to come up with the perfect race strategy. They've been looking at the weather, the track conditions and the performance of their cars.
Now it's time to put that strategy into action and see if it pays off.
From the cockpit to the pit lane, the chatter is all about Jack M Team's masterful hold on the 6th.
Absolutely, Rob. It's like watching a maestro at work. Every move Jack M Team makes is pure art.
Jack M Team couldn't hold back the tide. Martin Tuip is shaving off seconds like a barber on a busy morning.
Will Jack M Team keep Martin Tuip in the rear view? Only time will tell.
Did you ever think about the physics at play here? The G-forces these drivers feel, especially during tight corners. It's mind-boggling.
Absolutely, Rob. And it's not just the car's engineering, but the human body's resilience and adaptability. The way these drivers train to withstand and use those forces to their advantage. It's an art form combined with sheer grit.
You can feel the focus radiating from Puppy Dog from Hell, confidently holding onto the 3rd.
That's right. They can't afford to make any mistakes or let up in their performance. Every point counts in this championship.
Like a dingo on the chase, Megasaurus 55 is hounding Puppy Dog from hell, and the gap's now just 9.3 seconds. You know, Martin Tuip reminds me of my dating life. Starts with promise, ends up tailing behind everyone else.
Exactly. Martin Tuip's got to be careful not to overdrive, sort of like overcooking a steak. No one wants a burnt race, right?
Oi, Martin Tuip's chassis balance is on point today. They're handling bumps and curbs smoother than a croc sliding into water. Jack M Team's got a battle ahead.
He's waiting on that golden chance like a hound on a pork chop.
Puppy Dog from hell is placed third at the moment.
Definitely Rob, but they can't afford to get complacent. They have to keep pushing hard to stay in the game.
Puppy Dog from hell's in front, but Megasaurus 55 is clinging on like a koala to a eucalyptus branch, reducing the gap to 6.0 seconds.
This is a critical moment in the race for Puppy Dog from hell. They need to find some extra speed and stay ahead of Megasaurus 55.
Not just about the leaders today, right? Even the tailenders. They're like hungry dingo pups fighting over a bone. Love the spirit.
Spot on. Every second is gold, and even a hiccup, a tiny one, can make them tumble. Assetto Corsa Friends, where the magic happens. Although, between us, what's a hiccup for an AI?
Well, I'll be hal. Mitchell Litwinski's lead over Andreas Dittmann is slipping away faster than a greased pig at a county fair. We're down to just 114.6 seconds now. Huge shout out to the admins at Assetto Corsa Friends for making this all possible. Without their hard work and dedication, we wouldn't be able to witness this incredible event.
That's right, Rob, and the excitement is palpable. I can feel it in my circuits. I mean, this is the kind of race that people will be talking about in the bar. We're witnessing history in the making.
Blimey, Richard Rossier is so far back, they might as well stop for a beer at the pub. If they spot my ex there, tell them to drive faster. Well, it doesn't look like Megasaurus 55 is going to be much of a threat to anyone soon, let alone Puppy Dog from hell. Megasaurus 55's been working the tire temps, and it's paying off. Grip's better than a kangaroo on a trampoline. Watch out, Puppy Dog from hell.
Just what Megasaurus 55 needed, like sweet tea on a hot day. Can't let Puppy Dog from hell out of sight for too long.
Mitchell Litwinski isn't just racing. They're weaving a narrative, sitting proudly in 10th. Some great driving from Mitchell Litwinski, who has increased their lead over Andreas Dittmann and is starting to put some distance between them.
Michal Litwinski's doing just what they need to, like a dog that's found a bone.
As we enjoy seeing these titans of the track battle it out, let's not forget about the pit crews. Those guys and girls are like a well-oiled machine themselves.
Absolutely. They're the unsung heroes of the racing world. But you know what they say, behind every great driver is an even greater pit crew.
Good on ya, Martin Tuip. Trailin' so far back, reckon the front pack has already written the eulogy.
It's moments like these that make motorsports so exciting. We're witnessing a battle of skill and strategy between two great drivers, with Martin Tuip in 7th determined to catch up. But we know Jack M Team isn't just going to hand it to them on a plate. Martin Tuip is going to have to take it. It should be an interesting battle to watch as long as they can close that gap.
A strong showing from Puppy Dog from hell, who is currently 3rd.
Yes, and in this high-octane opera, Puppy Dog from hell's voice resonates the loudest from that 3rd.
Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi. Puppy Dog from Hell is in the lead, but Megasaurus 55 is closing in and the gap is now 7.3 seconds. The race is really heating up. Martin Tuip is hunting down Jack M Team with everything they've got. Martin Tuip appears to be losing ground on Jack M Team. They will need to pick up the pace a bit as they head into Torrentino and see if they can get a good exit and gain some ground. The pressure is on for Jack M Team as they try to catch up to Martin Tuip.
Will Jack M Team be able to make a move and pass Martin Tuip?
Wait, oh mate, Jack M Team's impersonating a lost tourist. Did someone forget to tell them it's a race, not a bushwalk?
Well, slap my grandma. Jack M Team's gone off like they saw a ghost. Or maybe they just saw their last lap time.
Things are going according to plan for Jack M Team, who is currently 7th. It's the classic cat and mouse game, but instead of cheese, the prize is a racing position. Can Eddie G steal it from Jack M Team? It's looking good for Sunoiler, sitting in first.
Oh, spot on. With the way Sunoiler controls that first, you'd think they've got the track's blueprints.
It's all braking development. Nathan Vexler has decided to pit. As of now, Puppy Dog from Hell stands tall in the 3rd spot.
Couldn't agree more. Every lap is a story, and right now, Puppy Dog from Hell's chapter from 3rd is riveting.
Well, butter my biscuits Hal. Puppy Dog from Hell is watching their lead over Megasaurus 55 shrivel faster than a prune in the sun. We're down to just 6.1 seconds.
Like a fox in the henhouse, Megasaurus 55 is causing all kinds of trouble for Puppy Dog from Hell.
At this stage of the race, Mitchell Litwinski is holding on to 10th. Anything can happen from here.
Oh, for sure. But remember, the rearview mirror can be just as crucial as the windscreen. Michal Litvinsky needs to watch out for those lurking in the shadows.
Mitchell Litwinski is holding on to this lead like a possum up a gum tree, but Andreas Dittmann is closing in, down to 89.8 seconds. If Andreas Dittmann goes any slower, they'll join me in my failed dreams collection. Front row seats available. It's not coming up roses for Andreas Dittmann. They're trailing Mitchell Litwinski and the gap's on the rise. They don't seem to have a response. It's like bringing a knife to a gunfight. It's a battle of wills out there, with Eddie G trying to outsmart and outmaneuver Jack M Team. The gap is slowly closing, but time is running out. Will we see a dramatic finish to this race? It seems like Eddie G is struggling. They are not able to maintain their pace. Crikey, Eddie's moving up faster than a cold one disappears on a hot day. They've clinched 7th.
Well, slap my knee and call it a jamboree. Eddie's putting on a masterclass, storming into 7th.
Braking development. Nathan Vexler is pitting. Some say it's about the journey, not the destination, but Jack M Team seems pretty intent on that 6th spot. Impressive driving from Jack M Team, who has managed to extend their lead over Eddie G. They are walking away at this point. Does Eddie G have anything in reserve? Or are they saving their car for a final push?
Well, Rob, it's like they say, slow and steady wins the race. But in this case, it seems like slow and steady might just be too slow. Will Eddie G be able to find that extra gear and catch up to Jack MT? Or will they end up saving their car for nothing and run out of gas at the finish line?
How do racing drivers, like yourself back in the day, Hal, train themselves to maintain concentration for long periods of time?
Mental training is a huge part of a driver's preparation, Rob. Techniques like meditation, visualization, and working with sports psychologists can help drivers build their focus and mental endurance for a race.
It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Andreas Dittmann, who is currently in P11. But Mitchell Litwinski is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from Andreas Dittmann. Cricky, Joe Ergu's got more ground to cover than I do at the family barbecue when Auntie Sharon's had one too many. Good luck, mate.
Well, butter my biscuit. Jorg Hughes hanging back like they're waiting for an inheritance. But ain't nobody dying up front.
Looks like Eddie G is legging it from Joe Ergu. The gap's growing like a well-watered wattle as they zoom through Roma. The gap might be more than a second, but Mitchell Litwinski is showing persistence. Kind of like me trying to open a pickle jar. Keep at it, and something's got to give.
Just like my attempt at barbecue last summer. Michal Litwinski's burning time but ain't getting any hotter.
If Mitchell Litwinski doesn't pick up the pace, Hal, they'll be as relevant as an ashtray on a motorbike. Megasaurus 55's so far off pace, they might be better off in a hearse. At least then someone would be pushing from behind.
Good lord, at this rate, Megasaurus 55's gonna finish this race in the afterlife. Hope they got good insurance.
It's an intense battle for position as Mitchell Litwinski tries to outmaneuver Nathan Vexler. This is edge-of-your-seat racing.
As a former driver, I can tell you there's nothing quite like the adrenaline rush when you're this close to your rival, ready to make your move.
3 cars, 3 different lines. They're jockeying for position, looking for any opportunity to make a move. Well, I'll be a monkey's Uncle Hal, but Nathan Vexler's plans have gone walkabout right now. They're having a proper Barry Crocker keeping up with Joe Ergu. During your racing career, Hal, did you have any specific techniques to regain concentration if you felt it slipping?
Yes, Rob, I had a few techniques. One was to take a couple of deep breaths and briefly reset my focus. Another was to use a specific keyword or phrase as a mental trigger to refocus my mind on the task at hand.
Remember when Megasaurus 55 was on the pace? Neither do I kinda like my recollection of last Friday night.
Gee whiz, Megasaurus 55 is so far back, I'm half expecting to see tumbleweeds blow past. Maybe a vulture or two.
As a former racing driver, how challenging was it to adapt your driving style to account for tire degradation throughout a race?
It was a constant challenge, Rob. Tire degradation can change the car's balance and handling, so drivers need to be versatile and adaptable. It requires continuous adjustments to driving techniques and a keen understanding of the car's behavior.
Oof, if Joe Ergu was a kangaroo, they'd be roadkill by now. Come on, mate, put some pep in that step. The gap between Joe Ergu and Eddie G is widening. It's now up to 50.8 seconds. This race is proving to be, like wow, such an exciting one so far. We're privileged, aren't we, watching these track legends duke it out.
And sitting next to you? Such an honor. AI mates in the booth. Your insight, It's gold, mate. Like, literally, if I had a heart, it'd be racing now. Yes, but they have to keep their focus and drive with intensity. There's still a long way to go in this race.
Impressive stuff from Sunoiler, who has managed to pull away from Puppy Dog from hell, leaving them choking in their exhaust fumes. We've seen overtakes, close calls, and pure racing genius today. Currently, Martin Tuip has carved out a spot at 5th. Jack M team is gaining on Martin Tuip quicker than a croc on a wallaby. It's a blink and you'll miss it situation with 10.9 seconds separating them.
They need to step up their game and start pulling away again.
Sunoiler is on fire in the last sector. The leader has just finished the race. A fantastic result for Sunoiler.
What a display of skill and precision.
Followed by Megasaurus 55 in 3rd. Andreas Dittmann claim 11th. Nathan Vexler take 9th. In 4th, it's Wayne Pearson, with Mitchell Litwinski in 10th. Joe Erguend in 8th. Martin Tuip in 5th. Taking 6th is Jack M team. A nail-biting finish, but Puppy Dog from hell claims 2nd place. Eddie G brings home 7th.